English, it is called Silk Road. What is the relationship of this road with silk? It's not clear to many. Yes, at one time, silk was carried along the Silk Road. The silk used to come from China, other Asian countries, and Europe. The history of silk travel along the Silk Road is very old. And if you want to bring the picture of this old story in front of your eyes, it will feel like a lot of Arabian stories. The silk was picked up on the backs of two humped camels from China. The silk used to cross mountains, rivers, and deserts from east to west of the world. Other products were carried on the camels when they returned. There were glassware, weapons. The merchants used to sell the culture along the products on the Silk Road. He would bring with him new religion, new customs and thoughts. There are many incidents along the way. Human life is full of such diversity. This long journey also had a different variety. Now, the day has changed. Silk does not go on the Silk Road like before, but the old way is still there. China wants to start anew. Xinjiang of ancient China was connected with Asia, Africa, and Europe through this trade route. The German geographer Ferdinand Richthofen wrote a book about this old path in the 70s of the 19th century. The title of the book was Silk Road. From then on, the name of the path becomes Silk Path. Tourists have no shortage of curiosity about the Silk Road. There are many anecdotes, stories of dangerous paths. Basically, these stories attract today's tourists. Some leave home, travel along the Silk Road to experience new things. What does the Silk Road look like? The British media, The Guardian, has published a photo essay about this. The essay was created by Christopher Wilton. The whole event is based on his travel experience. In it, he said, it is a long journey in 2019. This journey on the Silk Road was like a dream to him, which of course made the video an overnight sensation. Christopher Wilton said the land trip introduced him to the diversity of cultures. He has been able to distinguish the similarities and differences of one culture from another, also been able to judge his own culture. Traveling from London, Wilton made his first major break in Venice. This city has an old style. Due to the Silk Road, traders from different countries used to roam in this city. Those who traveled from east to west had their trade in Venice. There is no shortage of visitors in this city yet. The dome of St. Mark's Cathedral is in picturesque Venice. It bears the imprint of medieval Cairo minaret. The minarets are bright blue. This blue also came along the Silk Road from Afghanistan. Christopher Wilton, a tourist of this period, left Venice and crossed the Adriatic via the Silk Road to Pula, Croatia. From there, he rented a car to head to the coast of Dalmatia in southeastern Croatia. He traveled by a car to Montenegro via Bosnia and Herzegovina. For the first time in Bosnia and Herzegovina, he heard the call to prayer for Muslims. Christopher Wilton's next destination was Istanbul. He had to travel 3 times by train across the Balkans to reach the ancient city of Turkey. It took 10 hours. The first journey was from Podgorica to Belgrade. During this time, he has crossed 435 bridges and 254 tunnels have been crossed. Life in Istanbul is fluid like a shallow. It was seen there, old men sitting and playing cards, young girls feeding the girls, fisher awaiting a catch, dogs and cats wandering the streets. There is so much life to Istanbul, so much to drink in. After crossing the Bosphorus into Asia, Christopher wanted to see the eastern part of Turkey. Also, book a tour package for this. Under that package, he went to Konya, the city of the Islamic mystic poet Rome. Cappadocia is an area bordering Syria, along the Syrian border, around Mount Ararat, and finally to the Iranian border. Along the way, we passed caravanserai dating from the 13th century. These were the original travel lodges, where Silk Road traders would rest, wash, pray, share gossip, and quarantine before entering city. Christopher Wilton, the writer of The Guardian, entered Iran via Silk Road, but before that he had to face a major diplomatic setback. When he got into trouble, anxiety came and crowded into his brain. But with the help of a skilled guide, the solution was finally found. Passing through Tabriz, home to one of the largest covered bazaars in the world, Isfahan and its mesmerizing mosques, the Lut Desert, one of the hottest places on earth, holy city of Moshahid, where visitors come for the tomb of Imam Reza. Its golden dome is blinding in the midday sun. Christopher Wilton traveled from Iran to Turkmenistan via Silk Road. He took a bus to the Iran-Turkmen border. There were 8 people, including him, on that bus. Among them were Turkmen, Iranians, and Uzbeks. The bus stopped at a bridge between the two countries. A few minutes later, a minibus came from the Turkmen side and took them away. The feeling at the time was like that of a spy in a movie. In this way, the exchange of spices is shown in the movie. His journey to Turkmenistan began in the ancient city of Merv. It is the capital city of Ashgabat, across the Karakum Desert and onto the Uzbek border. Emerging from the desert, Khiva is the Silk Road city of your imagination, a treasure trove for places, mosques, and madrasas clad in blue titlework that glows in the evening light. About 300 people were waiting to cross the Uzbek-Kyrgyz border. They probably spent 6 hours there. The experience of that border was not pleasant for him. Whatever he did, he crossed the border in shock. The country left behind, Uzbekistan, was dry, deserted. And today's Kyrgyzstan is mountainous, affectionate. Kyrgyzstan has open green and soft touches. It is a land of spring and valleys, or a semi-nomadic country. Animals like horses, yaks, and camels can be seen there, and the huge dome of the sky. He crossed Kyrgyzstan on the Silk Road and headed for Tajikistan, mountain border between Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. This border is crossed by a pass. This route has a distance of 12 miles. The driver dropped him off at a military checkpoint. Little did he know that all of these 12-mile passes were no man's land. The path is rocky. It has risen above 4,200 meters. For a few miles, he dragged his bag away. After that, he was confronted by a mad mountain dog. After a long struggle, he found 2 German motorcyclists, arrived with them in Tajik land. The eastern part of Tajikistan is dry, dusty, and thin air. After a short walk, Wilton gasped. The area is not like the rocky Pamirs of the west. Its back is dark brown. It has deep shades of color. The hills in this area are soft to look at. There are flashes of purple, sometimes pink and sometimes blue. Christopher Wilton wanted to go to the Khorag area. There are also a guide to climb to the top of the hill. The purpose is to go to the Pakistan through Afghanistan. Panj River can be seen from the top of Khorag, and on the other side of the river is Afghanistan. Pakistan is just a little bit through Afghanistan. He was not allowed to go this way due to a lack of security. Wilton had to travel a few thousand miles via Dushanbe, the capital of Tajikistan, and via Dubai. The next journey is to Gilgit. The journey was over 4,114 meters above sea level. After a steep climb, the road opens up into a verdant plateau of wildflowers, gentle rivers, and crystal clear streams. In the distance, he caught sight of Kashmiri nomads with herds of cattle and goats. After many miles of rocky paths, he gets the Karakoram highway. This road connects Pakistan and China. He saw a valley, the body of the mountain after the valley, and there is a slippery road hanging on that body. Even before this road was built, goods were brought and taken in this way. The merchants used to take silk on horseback or on camels. Next trip to China. Earlier, he had to cross the Hunza Valley in Pakistan. Baltit Fort seen there. The fort was built on the Pak-China border in the 8th century. One of his stops was in the remote border town of Sost. The city itself is very old, much like the old town in the west. Declaration of Pak-China friendship on the streets of the city. The Hunjarab Pass took 5 hours by minibus from Sost. It was the experience of crossing the world's largest paved border. He was sitting in the front seat with an old man dressed in traditional clothes. Most likely, the border gateway to China was visible from 4,700 meters away. The town of Kashgar on the Silk Road is steeped in the mythology. The town in the western part of Xinjiang province was the gateway to the Asian market for Chinese traders. More than 30 nations still live in this diverse city. However, this diversity is now under threat. Christopher went to the heart of the city. The bus passenger met the old man there. He saw the man pulling out of some antiques from his suitcase. He is selling them in a shop in Uyghur. The buyer-seller understanding is excellent. They don't have to say much. The buying and selling work is getting better just by hand gestures. Christopher went and tapped the old man on the shoulder. The old man immediately looked back and hugged him. Thus, the trade of antique products has been going on there for thousands of years. From there, he traveled by train for 16 hours along the northern side of the Taklamakan desert. The word Taklamakan translates as "what goes in does not come out." Many have lost their lives attempting to cross it, but those days are mostly in the past. The Gobi Desert has started after the Taklamakan. China's high-speed rail system has started from there, and that was the destination of that Western tourist. Even after entering China, it took Wilton 10 days to reach Beijing. For more than 4 months, he traveled by car, bus, train, boat, horse and camel. He has used 2 flights. He has traveled 25,000 miles of Silk Road in 16 countries. Through this, he has fulfilled his dream of traveling to Eurasia. He has 50,000 pictures as a memory of the whole trip. Anyone who sees this picture will be able to satisfy the taste of milk with whey. Who have seen this report, I hope they have tasted the Silk Road at least a little bit.